So most people understand why food is important to your nutrition, but a lot of people wonder if water really is, especially with all of the gimmicks out there. I mean, half of the water quality products don't actually work. You know, I've been running plumbing companies, consulting for plumbing companies forever, and it's amazing how often you'll be presented with products that don't work. I've been on test review boards. I'm basically a nerd when it comes to plumbing, heating, and air conditioning, all of that stuff. I mean, literally, I'm so much of a nerd that when it came to scouting, I earned my Eagle twice. And I applied the exact same thing in heating and air. Literally, this is my water quality test kit. Most people would just go and pull out one of these strips and go ahead and test your water. And if it came back at a certain color, they'd say, oh yeah, you need to buy something. But that's the sad part about the water quality industry is you go on to all these nutrition sites and they tell you, oh, you need this, this, or this. And it's thousands upon thousands of dollars. But guess what? You may not need it. And that's why I actually love going in and testing water. Because in my own house, when I went through and tested it, it was dumbfounding. This kit here is actually an electronic version. You put in each sample of water and it'll read it for you. It'll read the hardness, the amount of iron, the amount of nitrite, the amount of sulfite, everything. And it'll tell you what is in the water, which is fantastic because then it actually tells you what you need. But again, you may still be thinking, well, that's great, you're a nerd. But what does that have to do with how water is going to help my health? So over 70% of your body is made up of water. 83% of your blood is water. 76% of your muscles are water. Everything takes water. So it's important to have the right water for you. But it's become kind of a general accepted conclusion that most tap water is terrible. The main reason for it is there are two ways to clean water. One, you filter everything out. The problem with that is it can't tell the good from the bad. Then the other option is you add crap into the water to kill it. That's why, like at my house, if you just get tap water, you can actually smell chlorine because that is one of the chemicals. They add dozens, but that's one of the chemicals they dump into your drinking water in order to try to keep it clean. It's kind of ridiculous. And so you have the different ways of how to treat it and what you're going to do. And the main things that you need to remember are, one, you want to make sure that the water you're drinking is clean. You want to filter out all of the contaminants. But the problem with that is it leaves your water stripped. So the second thing you want to do is make sure that it's free of the chemicals. Because even some of the best filters that'll filter out the iron and the nitrites and everything else, they'll leave chemicals like chlorine still in the water. Most people don't realize this, but even from, say, your shower, you can absorb more chlorine while you're taking a shower than you will with all the water you drink during the day, no matter how clean or dirty it actually is. Which is why you want to make sure that you're eliminating the chemical contaminants from the water as well, not just from the water that you're drinking, but from all your water. The water you're cooking with, the water you're showering with, everything except what you water the lawn with. You want to make sure that you are pulling those chemicals back out. The third thing is hardness, because you know, I'm from a state where we have, I believe, 3 of the top 100 cities for water hardness in the entire country. The Water Quality Agency says anything above 10 is considered very, very hard when it comes to water hardness. Well, I tested the water in my house in a very nice neighborhood, and it comes in at 22. Over twice the standard of what they consider very, very, very hard. It's basically off the charts. And the sad thing is, most of the Salt Lake Valley, Park City, they all have exactly the same problem. Newspapers in our general area write about this all the time. As I've done consulting in other cities and across the country, they do the same thing. They write about how this hardness is destroying appliances, water heaters, everything. And you want to take that hardness out of the water. Now, the problem with water softening is there are a lot of gimmicks. You hear things about magnets that have magical powers and somehow, while not doing anything to the water, are cleaning it, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a gimmick. There are only 2 ways you're going to take care of hardness in water. One is you're going to make it soft, which the only thing that does that is salt. 2, you're going to render all of that inert, which you can do with a number of different chemicals, a mixture of different chemicals, which will protect your appliances and do all of that stuff. It just depends on whether you're willing to lift the bags of salt into your house or not. Because if you are, it technically is the best way. But you want to make sure that the water that is in your home is soft. The last thing that you want to worry about is pH levels. Because the sad thing about this country, the more dependent we've become on soda, on orange juice as the cure-all, on everything else, is it's all acidic. Your body's 70% water. It has a pH level to it. The more acid that you're drinking and everything else, the lower your natural pH level in your body will be, which is something that you don't want to have, which is why they came up with ionizers, because it keeps the pH at a level that is healthy for the body. It's not too high, it's not too low. The beauty of ionizers also is it'll put more antioxidants into your water than you could eat in a day. Now trust me, I'm a big guy, I can eat a lot. But even if I sat there just stuffing my face with handful after handful of blueberries, you couldn't get as many antioxidants as you can from drinking and cooking with ionized water.